guys, welcome to Big Sister. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are. Thank you so much for those of you who are subscribers to my channel, and to those of you who stop by, I appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe if you enjoy my content. If you have questions, you can check my about link and you will see the email that you can reach me out at. I do believe there was one person that reached out to me recently. I did give them the email, but I haven't seen their response back to me or anything. But know that you can. Please keep all comments and things like that respectful, because this is a channel where I want people to feel safe and feel like they can say what they need to say respectfully. Okay, so I want to talk with you guys about, just how I don't understand, like, when did girls get so mean? But that was my initial thing. But then I remember kind of when I grew up, I did see girls who were mean coming up. But I don't think I've ever seen it to the point that it is now. And honestly, I don't know why girls these days are so mean. I think girls can be worse than boys. Boys, they can be bullies, and so can girls, but girls, I don't know, it's just something different about them. And that's why I think it's so important, guys, that we are raising our daughters right. Not only teaching them how to be polite, but also how to stand up for themselves. But then again, you just don't know who they're going to encounter, because these days, these girls are behaving like hyenas, okay? They're going to jump and attack. They're coming in like the gangster giraffes. So, I'm just going to put my baby in self-defense classes, okay? That way, they're going to know how to, pop lock them without hurting them, okay? You can fight. They're not going to mess with you too much. But on a side note, I was going to send them to this. They were taking these martial arts classes, and it was okay, but it was kind of like, I didn't feel that it was as focused. It's like they had a whole room full of kids, right? Children. And there's like 1, 2, 3 instructors. And I mean, they may have about 40 children on the floor. And they're following these instructions and everything. They're following the directives of the, I guess it's the instructor, the karate instructor or whatever. And then the other 2 are kind of going around, but I don't think they were really doing anything. The other instructors weren't really doing anything. As a matter of fact, they were more to one side versus being dispersed where all the children can get the attention that they needed. It just wasn't really worth it for me. So I'm still right now just looking around for really good martial arts instructor courses, or martial arts, what are they, masters, instructors. I'm getting them in that, okay? Because they're gonna need to know how to defend themselves. They're going to have to know how to defend themselves, okay? I'm not sending them out there to be fighters, but at the same time, people will not be thinking that their heart's pumping any Kool-Aid, okay? I remember when I was younger, I know I'm rambling, but, that was one thing that my dad was like, y'all gonna have to fight. And it was so different growing up in Brooklyn, because literally that's just how it was. I don't think it happened all the time, but there was always this one kid in school that they just looked real rough and old in the face, just like they've been to prison. And when you're young, that stuff really intimidates you, but you come to realize that if you're smaller than the person, you can pretty much know that person is a coward, okay? They're a coward. If they're picking on you and they're bigger than you, they're a coward. They're not messing with nobody else. So you're just going to have to show them that you're not the one. But anywho, getting back to this. So, man, I was like, goodness, these girls are mean. And I'm going to tell you what happened. So it was junior high school, prom in Brooklyn. And, I knew people in junior high, but I had like three best friends. We went to elementary school together, and we went to junior high, which y'all call middle school now. We went there together. I think actually only one person didn't go to that middle school, and it was my one of my good friends. She ended up going to a different junior high school. But anyway, we're at junior high school, whatever. It was prom and all of that, right? And there's this one girl named Peggy who she was a part of our group, but Peggy was like, I guess she was fat. She was fat. Peggy was fat. She had nice hair and everything, but Peggy, I really remember Peggy just had a round face. Her face was round and flat at the same time. I remember she had thick, beautiful hair. She was my friend, like Peggy was cool. The rest of us were like skinny and smaller than Peggy, but Peggy was nice. She was really nice, and she was just one of our friends, Anyway, throughout school year, Peggy's just Peggy. No one's paying attention to her. No one's paying attention to Peggy in middle school, and nobody was paying attention to Peggy, I don't think, in junior high. But then, come prom night, Peggy comes with the cutest, the most good-looking guy. This guy was super cute. Oh my gosh. We were like, Peggy, right? You're like, wow. He comes in, and like everybody, right, is like, oh, who is that? Girls, they would have had their own dates and stuff. I didn't have a date for the prom. I don't know. I didn't want nobody around me, just went with my friends. But we were like, wow, Peggy, what? So, come to find out, as we're all sitting around and talking, he's sitting with us, and word gets out that this is Peggy's cousin. So there were like a lot of girls that were coming to the table, right, and all of that, and going over to Peggy and stuff and asking her questions. I guess her cousin just let the cat out of the bag. Oh, she's my cousin. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. When they found out that he was her cousin, it was like game on. They were literally taking him from Peggy, like dancing with him, talking to him. He was dancing with everybody. His name was Paul. Paul was dancing with all the girls, and Peggy was just sitting there lonely by herself. And it was so sad, and I guess her family just realized, hey, maybe no one's going to be able to go with her to prom or something, and went with her. But, he wasn't, like, man, I wouldn't expect him to act like a boyfriend to her, but, keep her company. I think that was the idea. He let the cat out of the bag. Either that, or I could have it wrong, because we're talking about years ago, but either that or they asked Peggy who he was, okay? Or asked her if it was her boyfriend. So either Paul let the cat out of the bag, or Peggy, when the girls kept coming to the table and they were asking her about him and everything, maybe Peggy told. So one out of those two things happened. But once they found out that was not her boyfriend and that was her cousin, they started asking her if they could dance with him. They started asking her, like, girls were coming up. As a matter of fact, they stopped asking. They were just dancing with him all night. And I remember looking over at Peggy, and she just looked so lonely and so dejected and sad. And I don't think that Peggy was looking at her. I don't think she was looking at him in that way. But I feel like, based on the fact that throughout the school years, okay, from elementary to middle school / junior high, what we call it, and to have been dejected, I think she just wanted acceptance. I think she just wanted to seem cool, and she was not by herself. But it ended with her sitting alone and being sad. And we sat around her and we were talking with her and stuff like that and trying to have fun, but you could tell she just looked so down about it. And I don't know, I guess we were all kids and stuff, but I think even back then, those girls just knew, like, oh, that's our cousin, we gonna take him, we don't care. And that was when I started to really see how mean girls can be. I don't even know how girls will know how to do those things at that age, because I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised to be mean to people. I don't have sisters, so maybe that could contribute to it. But I had female cousins and we were around each other regularly. I don't remember, and I've never seen my female cousins just being catty and rude and mean and horrible. I'm sure they weren't perfect, but I just did not experience this. And I was not raised that way. And see, that's kind of the thing too. When you're raised to be respectable and kind and considerate, you go out in a world where people are so different that you're kind of lost. And sometimes they can look at you having that respect and the principle as weakness, okay? And then if you really notice that mean girls, they're not normally by themselves. They're normally with a group of people. Unless they're bigger than everybody else, then of course they may act alone. But mostly the thing about it is, it's getting more dangerous, isn't it? It's not so much anymore about, these people these days, girls these days are going out getting guns, they're stabbing, they're fighting. And guys, that's one of the reasons why I really aim to work so hard to put my children in a higher echelon in society. I'm not saying higher echelons that they don't act up, because we have more than enough documentaries and criminal shows and things that really does prove that even the elites and those who are in a higher social circle can do a lot of wrong things. But the reality is, you experience it more when you are on the lower end of things. You know what I mean? So, anywho, what do I want to tell you guys? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That was my experience. I just, the mean girl stuff, I think it's definitely escalated a lot more now. I think children are a lot more, they're super mean, and I think it has a lot to do with what they are. People can blame it on television and things like that, but I don't think so. I think it has a lot to do with the family. And that's the foundation, and how they are being treated, and maybe they're being left by themselves and they may indulge in certain things. But I think if there is a foundation where they're not being loved, they're not being given care, they don't have direction, they just become mischievous. Because when we were growing up, there's a lot of things that we watched and we didn't turn out to be that way. Yes, technology, and they have a lot more television, but we're watching stuff back in the day, okay? And I watched Voltron, I watched all kinds of different things. I watched karate movies on Saturdays. I watched G.I. Joe, all these different things. I watched Tom and Jerry. Tom is chasing Jerry with an axe or vice versa. I've never felt like I needed to hit anybody with a hot iron, or ironing board, or hit them with a pipe, like those things happen. And then there were horror movies and scary movies that we watched. I know I used to watch scary movies coming up. But guys, it all boiled down to family. I had my mom and dad there. My parents were super strict. My father specifically was very strict. I grew up in a Jamaican house. They're not going to play that, okay? I'm not saying that even with the strictness that we did not try things. We did, but that discipline, it definitely kept us from going far. And no. I feared getting in trouble with my father more than anything, okay? So that wasn't it. And then we just had cousins and our family. and someone is going to correct you if need be. And so I just think it's really in the upbringing, guys. I mean, people can blame video games all they want on school shootings, and they can blame everything on, school shootings, video games, and all these things, and TV shows, to say this is the reason why things are happening. But in my opinion, no, it's the home. It's what is their home life like? How much attention are they getting at home? Also, sometimes they can be too indulged. They're getting everything and they've never been told no, and they've been misbehaving since they've been babies. Then it can lead them down a path where they're doing things that they shouldn't do. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times, a lot of parents are busy and working and too busy trying to be cool and trying to be accepted by their children as well. And so it goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? Any hoots. Guys, I'm going to get off here, but I hope you guys enjoy my little story time with you guys. All right. Bye.